Imagine walking through your home and everywhere you look, you see messy piles and spaces throughout. It's frustrating to see a sink full of dishes, heaps of dirty clothes to wash, and then fold once cleaned, stacks of random, unrelated items covering your surfaces, and it's not your fault. It's all caused by some other adult who lives in your home, maybe a spouse, a partner, or an adult child. If this is your life, I made this video especially for you. Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Sandy, home organization educator. And this one question gets asked all the time in my business. How do I get my husband, spouse, partner, adult child, fill in the blank to tidy up? I just finished reading The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins and The Let Them poem by Cassie Phillips, and both inspired me to make this video. Both works share the idea to give permission to other people to do as they want to do, as in let them wrong you, have ill thoughts about you, judge you, walk out on you, leave you, hurt you, and the list goes on because let them is an umbrella that covers any and everything related to adults being adults. But let them is also about releasing your control on what other people do. In this video, narrowing the focus on how you can use the ideas in these bodies of work to address the question of how do I get some grown-up in my life to tidy up. First, when you feel like you're in a battle with the messy person in your life, get clear on what the problem really is. Is the problem the physical mess, or is the problem the messy behavior that you feel disregards what you want and your wishes? It's easy to assume that the physical mess is the problem. But really, the problem is the need to control someone else's behavior. Mel Robbins calls the problem trying to control things you can't control, like other people's opinions, moods, or actions. The nagging or repeated conversations about the messy spaces alone will not create behavior change in grown adults. When it comes to tidying up, you might be successful at getting your messy person to tidy up once or a handful of times, but in order to create a long-lasting habit of being a tidy person, the adult must want to be tidy. It reminds me of someone I dated a long time ago. I had all these aspirations of who I wanted them to be, and I was constantly obsessing over them living up to their potential to be a better man. But the joke was on me, and it's still to this day one of the most important lessons I had to learn in my life. And that is, you can't change people. You can only change yourself. Stay to the end if you want to know what happened with the guy I dated. So your desire to get this person to tidy up is a losing battle of control. While this truth hurts, Mel says when you stop obsessing over what other people think, say, or do, you finally have the energy to focus on your own life. You stop reacting and start living. Instead of driving yourself crazy trying to manage or please other people, you'll learn to let them. The power of let them is to release yourself from the control. When you stop trying to control things that aren't yours to control, you stop wasting your energy. You reclaim your time, your peace of mind, and your focus. You realize that your happiness is tied to your actions, not someone else's behavior, opinions, or mood. All this sounds good and well, but there still leaves a messy home. Mel doesn't leave you high and dry. At this point, she offers a few options in the Let Them Theory book. Now that it's established you can't control someone else, you can, however, be an influence to them. Influence them by doing the thing you want them to do by walking the walk. This means model the behavior you want to see in them. For example, if you want someone to put away their dishes, you must first model the behavior by putting away the dishes. If you want clean countertops, you take the action of wiping down countertops. If you're thinking, I already model these behaviors because I'm the only one in my household who does these things, then the next step is to give it time. Mel suggests 6 months. If you're like, okay, check. You've already been modeling the behavior you want to see for 6 months and likely longer, so what next? Now it's time for an advanced technique Mel calls the ABC loop. This strategy is to have an in-person conversation with the adult causing the mess. Step 1, apologize for your behavior. Ask open-ended questions. Step 1 is to first sincerely apologize for your nagging and telling them to change. And then introduce the idea of asking open-ended questions about the behavior, like how do you feel about the environment we live in? This will hopefully lead to open conversations about the subject matter. Step 2, back off and stop pressuring them and observe their behavior. Step 2 is to back off and stop laying the pressure. It's also your time to observe their behavior to see if step 1 did anything to help the situation along. If you see any progress towards a tidier home, then step 3 is to celebrate the progress. This step is critical because as humans, we continue to do things when we feel good about it, and a celebration helps us feel good. It could be in the form of a compliment or praise for picking up after dinner, etc. Alternately, if at this point you've done the ABC loop, waited 6 months, and still haven't seen the progress you want to see or any progress at all, then you've got to hone in the let me part of the theory, which says, let me decide if this is a deal breaker in this relationship or not. Mel recommends you focus on what you can control, and what you can control is choosing to love someone as they are. Or ask yourself, could you be with this person for the rest of your life if they never ever change? You get to choose. If you choose to love someone as they are, then Mel suggests stop complaining about their behavior and live with it. But if you can't accept this adult as they are, you can choose to end the relationship. The emphasis here is on let me take ownership of what I can control, which is where your power lies. Circling back to that guy I dated, well, it ended. I made a choice not to accept who he was, and I let go of the ideas I had about who I thought he could be. And I gave it longer than 6 months too. I let them show me who they were, and I let me bow out of that relationship. Adult relationships can be messy. No relationship is sunshine and rainbows all the time. And setting realistic expectations in this area is critical to having successful adult relationships. In summary, you can't control others. You can only control what you are responsible for, yourself. But that doesn't mean you have to live with a messy home. You also have agency to choose to accept the behavior or walk away. I'm curious to know, after watching this video, will you read the Let Them Theory book by Mel Robbins and the poem by Cassie Phillips? Whatever you decide, please share with me in the comments. I read every single one.